Hello everyone, welcome to the Cardiac Wire Show from ACC 2025. We're at the GE Healthcare booth and we're going to be talking about echo workflows. And we have two of the best people to talk about echo workflows, Myrtis Randolph and Chad Franklin. First of all, to get us started, Chad, can you give us a feel for some of the challenges that echo teams are facing today?
Certainly. What we find in the echocardiography department is the sonographers are getting overwhelmed, the physicians are having long read times and wait times. So what we decided to do with our system was to allow it to be automated as much as possible. The physicians can override it, and that allows the managers of the department as well as the physicians to be able to complete their jobs at a faster pace and be able to increase their utilization rate so that they're able to do more studies with the same staff.
Right. More studies with the same staff is where it's at when you understand the challenges around basically having enough sonographers to be hired.
Exactly, and everything in healthcare now is we've got reduced staff and availability, so anything we can do to make it more efficient, it's very welcome in the market.
All right, and I understand you're going to show us how this solution works.
Yes.
Myrtis, let's check it out.
Okay, let's do it. So first of all, we're going to start off with the universal viewer. When you're doing an echo and you're reading your report, you normally have two monitors. So this is where you would view your images, and then you would have your report. So if we're going to start off here with the images, this is the universal viewer, our GE PAC system. One of the great things about universal viewer is you have the ability to view images from older exams. So you don't have to go to another location. So for instance, if I want to see a patient's exam, like another echo that I want to compare this to, an older one, then I can pull that study in and be able to compare those images side by side. One of the great things, you'll notice that yellow border, that indicates that it's a comparison, just as named before. So the physician is very clear about which studies he's actually reading right now because it states primary. But also what's really great is the user has the ability to launch out to our EchoPack. EchoPack plugin is the same universal UI, basically meaning that you have the same image view that you would have on the Echo system. So one of the great things, like if a patient has cancer, right? And you wanted to do a strain analysis on it, it's really simple to do that on EchoPack. Simply just select the image, go to measure, go to AFI, and see my hands are free now, but the system is doing its thing, right? So it's gonna go ahead and process for you and then be able to show you the global strain as well as the ejection fraction there for the study, okay? So all of this information, if you do it post-processing, you can actually export that over to the physician report. So let's step over to the physician report. So now that we're over to the physician report, let me just orient you just a little bit. Here, you have the navigational pane. So anything I select over here is going to show the applicable form in the center. And then you have the physician report. As I scroll down, you'll notice the report is about 80% or so done. And that is because what happens is all of the measurements that comes over from the physician doing post-processing or from the technologist that does the scan comes over to the report. We have what we call intelligent reporting. Intelligent reporting takes those measurements and it creates these finding statements here in the report. For instance, you'll notice here this says 5.8 centimeters for this left ventricle here, this diastole. It should be between 3.8 and 5.2. So me as a clinician, I know that that is dilated. When I scroll up, the system has already created this finding statement based on the ASE guidelines, the American Society of Echocardiography, that says that the left ventricle is moderately dilated. When I select on that, it takes me to the field. Because it's grayed out and bolded, it means that that rule has been applied. It also shows any measurements that are abnormal in yellow. So if I select on it, now I can see the history of this. So if this patient has had multiple ultrasounds, I can see here in a tabular format or in a graphical format and understand when did that patient maybe start their chemo and how their left ventricle has expanded, okay? There's quite a bit more information you can do here inside of Centricity Cardio Enterprise for its quick reports. Quick reports allow you to quickly populate your reports with canned statements. So for instance, if I say TEE normal, it's going to give me more information about the valves and everything inside of the report. But one of the things, even though it says normal, it did not override the information that was there. So it's really good that the system is intelligent enough to keep the information that is abnormal, but it can populate more fields for you. Okay? Another great thing that we can do is we can definitely launch out and be able to see our GE Muse system. This is really great because sometimes physicians have to go to another location to be able to view the ECG. They don't have to do that inside of Centricity Cardio Enterprise. You can see here, we can look at the patient's ECG. We can compare it from an old ECG below to a newer ECG. That prevents them from having to go to another location. Okay? Now at this point, I've looked through the report. I'm pretty happy with it. Everything's in there. I've made my changes, and I can simply go ahead and sign. Well, we have where the system is intelligent enough to pick up any kind of contradictions. I can select on the hyperlink. It takes me to the area I need to modify. I do that, takes that away, and then I go ahead and sign. It's telling me I need to add a follow-up here in the conclusions. Once I do that, then I can go ahead and sign my report. We've been talking for less than 5 minutes, and you're already done. Imagine if I wasn't talking.
So we just saw a full echo report created in 5 minutes, which is amazing. And we can see how this could solve some problems. Chad, give us a feel for how a solution like this can really help address the problems that echo teams are facing.
So one of the common problems that you have is if a sonographer forgets to do a measurement or the physician wants to redo a measurement, you've got to go back to that card, boot it back up, and then do the measurement, send it back in and check it. With our system, you can do everything off the card that you can do on the card, which means that you now, if you're reviewing your images, you can fix it immediately, saving that time of going back. Another key feature of our auto strain is that with multi-vendors in your echo lab, we now can use our echo strain to do that, and they have different algorithms from different vendors. Using the same algorithm, you're now able to see apples to apples exactly what that patient's changes are, whereas today you've got to go back, look at the old study, find out what machine it was done on to make sure it was truly valid.
Thank you so much to both of you. For the folks who are watching, thanks for joining us. I'm sure you learned a thing or two about what you can do with GE Centricity, and thank you both for joining us.
Thank you.